We're now being joined by former Afghan judge and Muslim feminist Qazi Marzia, who was persecuted by Taliban forces for her profession. Qazi Marzia, thank you for your time here. We all want to know what has been your struggle, what has been your story, and how you suffered at the hands of the Taliban.
Thank you very much for having me. और सलाम जो आपका जो सब ऑडियंस है सबके लिए मेरी तरफ से सलाम और शुक्रिया. My life story is the same about 1,000 women in Afghanistan. I was a judge in Afghanistan in the family court. When I became a judge, when I saw the law is aggressive to women, and there are also favoritism between male and female in the court. So that was the start of my activism, and I decided to help women in Afghanistan, and I established a shelter for divorced women. After that, I launched an IWCU to help women and empower them. When the Taliban became in power in Pulakhumri, the city I was born, they came in my door and searching for me, put my family, my sisters in shock. 9 people, 9 men with guns, it came in my house and broke our door, just looking for who? For one female judge. And I was in the back door for more than 6 or 7 hours. They search all the house, and I understand if they find me, they will shoot me, they will kill me. It is not an easy thing to deal with it, to survive with it. When they left the home and I came, and I was discussing with my mother, what should we do next? And I left Afghanistan to Pakistan. And again, they tried to kill me when my mom was admitted in hospital. They ran over in a car on me and put me for death. That was the West, the experience I have with Taliban, and them. I know their mindset, and I know who they are and how they treat women, because their policy, their agenda, just killing women, stop people in all this social activities, and just they are against the activism. My life was in danger, and my family life was in danger too.
What do you think the Taliban intends to do now? Because the kind of message that they're trying to send out is that this is going to be different. Women are going to be not persecuted. We're going to involve them even in government. Do you believe what the Taliban says? Have they had a change of heart? Is it going to be any different from what we saw the last time around?
I do not believe the Taliban. People in Afghanistan do not believe them, because we know the Taliban, we know their strategy, we know who they are and what they did for Afghanistan. My personal experience with the Taliban, what the West experience I have in my life. When I left Afghanistan, the age of 43, it was not an easy decision I made. Left everything behind, my home, my status, my career as a judge, and my lovely family, my mother. Everything I left. Because of who? Because of the Taliban. Because of the Taliban, they are treating women like not as a human being. I don't know. Just they have a special nefrat. औरत के साथ. It's a big question in my mind. Why Taliban? They are just hate women. Why? I don't have answer for this.
Now we are seeing, Qazi Marzia, like a lot of people in Afghanistan are wanting to leave Afghanistan. They've been desperate to leave Afghanistan. What comes to your mind when you see these pictures? These horrific images of people actually trying to get onto the wing of an aircraft and then losing their lives in the process. Just trying to escape the country. Some people have picked up their children and given it to the UK forces that anywhere but Afghanistan. What comes to your mind when you see these pictures and reports?
Of course, this all my bad memories coming back, and I feel so sorry about my country, about my people. We don't deserve this, to be honest. We worked very hard to achieve something. Just we lost everything for one night. Of course, it's difficult for me to survive, to see my people in this situation. It is so tough for me. For every woman in the world, it's tough. It's difficult. It's difficult.
We completely understand. We've been having a conversation with lots of women from Afghanistan. Many of them are brave and say, we don't want to leave. This is our home. Many say that we just want to get out because we have no hope for the future, really. But, what comes to your mind when the US president says, we did what we could? This was not our job. The Afghan military was supposed to be fighting for its people. They did not do it, so we had to be there for 2 decades. But now we simply had to leave. What comes to your mind when Western forces speak in this language?
To be honest, I can't go to judge the strategy they made because they're their decision. But for Afghanistan and for Afghan people, is a good lesson for us to become more united and fight for our country and save our country from the Taliban and from any terrorist group in the world.
Today the Taliban says that we invite women to join the government. What do you make of this statement that is coming from the Taliban? Is it surprising? Is it shocking? Are you extremely, skeptical about what they say?
Because I'm very involved with women activists in Afghanistan. Some women, they've been to start working, they wanted to go back. The Taliban refused them and they told them, go back to your home first. There are a lot of, evidence on social media, on Twitter. For me, we can see the proof in the pudding, not what he's saying. Just because they want to make the media and the people in the world to prove they are changed. How possible if somebody grow up with the mindset to be a terrorist and suddenly they became very nice? How is possible this? Who can believe them? Who can believe them? They are against the science. They are against the modern world. How possible they leave women to do the thing they want to do? How can of Sharia law really what they want from us? I'm not very sure about this. As an activist, I follow my religion. I'm born in a Muslim family. I cannot follow the version of Islam the Taliban bring to my country. Sorry. I'm a Muslim. I follow my structure of Islam. Not I will follow the terrorist structure they bring to my country. I'm a Muslim. I'm proud to be a Muslim. But I not follow the terrorism Islam they bring to my country. I learn from Islam peace, love, care for each other, respect each other, dignity, not to just hate, kill, and finish all the activists in Afghanistan. What they did for my country, It's difficult for me as an Afghan to accept, to talk about it.
I just keep wondering, what would somebody like an 18-year-old girl right now in Afghanistan be thinking or expecting? You've seen the first regime of the Taliban as well. You've been, you've suffered at their hands. What do you think a young girl would be thinking about what next for her? Wherein in the last 20 years, perhaps she has seen the Afghanistan that everybody loved. And now what to expect? And what does really come to your mind when you think of a young girl for that matter?
In my mind is coming, our life is a big lesson for all my young generation, for all young generation in Afghanistan. They all is my sisters, my brothers. We will raise again, believe me. We will make our future better than today. Because if you remember, when the Taliban came in Afghanistan, everybody was celebrated. They was thinking Afghanistan is over, it's finished. But suddenly everything changed. We will raise, we will achieve. Inshallah.
Qazi Marzia, a lot of resentment is there on the ground right now in Afghanistan. Whatever reports we are getting, that seems to be suggesting this. What do you think this local resentment in Afghanistan is going to really translate into in days to come? And what can it possibly translate into with the Western forces literally saying that this is all we could do and now you have to deal with it pretty much?
I think now is very complicated situation in Afghanistan. I cannot make any comment now. Maybe the future everything will be very clear now, because some movement is started in Afghanistan. We cannot ignore this movement as well. I'm hoping, and I send my prayer to the people. They stand against the Taliban in some places in Afghanistan.
I just keep thinking that if a country like the US pulled out its forces, what is the kind of international support, international community support that people in Afghanistan right now can expect? What do you think they should be expecting?
We all women in Afghanistan, all people in Afghanistan, we want peace, So I think the United Nations should be more involved, and they should decide where should we go, and because Afghanistan needs safety and security. So this is the time the United Nations should be involved in this time for Afghanistan, for people, for the safety of people. And that will happen very soon.
Qazi Marzia, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your perspective with us on that important story that we're tracking from Afghanistan. It's a story that has shaken the entire world, and we'll keep a very close eye on that. For the moment, thank you for your perspective.